And as I was mentioning, having some trouble here with data entry on NetLogger. We have KF0HOD, Bob, BJB Andy, Hilton, PY2, BBQ, already checked in, that are here but on limited time. If you're on limited time or if you happen to have it through that, which generally we don't have, but either we're going to make your call this time. JA4 show. Okay, no one here having check in with those criteria. As Chelsea mentioned, this is a complicated system of connected repeaters and servers. Before you key, after the previous person, and then after you do key, wait 2 or 3 seconds to start speaking. So everything in harmonized sync and be efficient, and us having the ability to be transcoded and speak with each other. Appreciate everything that actually on this regular check-ins now. Are there any other stations you don't have to be a Marco member that would like to check in or sound go ahead and make your call this time? Okay, no one else. On the instant message window for NetLogger is still up and running. And this is AA for us all net control for the day. Jay in Hawthorne, Florida today, up in north central Florida. An absolutely beautiful day. Going to start off with a few comments. Hilton, being here in Florida, we seem to drew a line between Buenos Aires and Santiago and over into Uruguay. I guess because of the magnetic equator. We're equally distant here in north central Florida. 6 meter FT8. We get so many stations along that line. Rarely do we get north or south. Rarely 2 days in a row, VP8LP was coming in from Falkland Islands. And, well, I guess one day I wasn't on, so it was 2 days separate. One day he was very strong, 4 or 5, and 5 stay email on the Google listserv regarding the survey we have and trying to stimulate a little bit of interest there. It only had 11 participants out of about 240 people at the time. How many additional people end up doing the survey? I'm going to turn I've got Steve, I've got you checked it. Steve, NetLogger on my end is not doing data. Okay, we have Steve NetLogger right now, so realize that I've got you checked in. But you're not going to see it on NetLogger. Turn the mic over to Bob at KF0HOD and let him make action group here. Go ahead, Bob. And good morning, operators on the net. This is Kilo Foxtrot Zero Hotel Oscar Delta in the suburbs, technical metropolis of Clever, where we have one stoplight. I'm in the suburbs where we just have a bend in the road in Boaz, Missouri, southwest Missouri, beautiful spot in the Ozarks. Southwest of Springfield, somewhere between Springfield and Branson. I'm operating an ICOM 7300, or I'm sorry, for what I was on. I'm using my ICOM 4100 right now, which I have had a chance a couple of times to pick up the wrong microphone and speak on the wrong band and wonder what was wrong. But using the 4100 in a Raspberry Pi, I do have the ability through one of my local machines to RF into a gateway, which is fun to do as a backup. Rather not tie up that repeater, but it's good to exercise that doesn't get used enough, but I am using the uh, RF into my hotspot right now. And as far as going internet, I saw this on the QuadNet info page yesterday as I was tooling through things. Decided that it was Saturday, I'd be able to check in, and as a professional, was interested in that. Retired pararescueman, and always interested in still some service to the community even after retirement. So anytime I get a chance to bring more than one discipline together and share that, I look forward to it. Saturday morning is a pretty good time to do that. So greetings to everybody who is here. You know, here is Bob. So glad to hear you all, and also glad to be heard. This is KF0HOD back to Net Control, Lord. But before I turn the mic over, and welcome Bob. Before I turn the mic over to Hilton, um, Bob, we have a newsletter. It's like across through that little journal that we put out every 2 months. You'll be which is Marco Day. Last month, the issue of the Ether newsletter, we highlighted a 98-year-old member, sort of a Renaissance man. And most of the edition was dedicated to him. Warren Brown, our the morning grand rounds on the air, and does medical education. But we did have a few pages that were more medically related. So one was about artificial intelligence and computer vision, and ironically, our association special edition that talked about computer vision. So sounds like my Alexa device is listening to me and talking back. And that was just an interesting coincidence. And I guess it went mainstream a lot quicker than I thought it was going to be. But I gave out some reading material. The ADA did exactly the same thing. They distributed reading material. Now let me turn it over. This is AA4FL turning over to PY2BBQ.
FL and group. This is PY2BBQ Hilton from São Paulo, Brazil. Just your last transmission just after Bob. I didn't listen to your transmission. Just when you refreshed it and waited one and came back, then you're transmitting again. I don't know if it was a problem of being home Wi-Fi internet, and I'm actually using the cell phone connection either for the hotspot and also for the YouTube transmission. So I hope you can hear me fine. Wait one. Okay, PY2 BBQ returning. Uh, well, very nice what you said about the opening of the propagation in the 6 meter bands, and
To the challenge. Eventually figure it out. No one here will instantly solve all problems. But we're a perseverant group of individuals, and we like to do critical thinking and problem solving, and it will happen. So I'll turn it back to Hilton in a little while, but in the meantime, let me go ahead and give it to WJ8P.
and well, a lot of yesterday the United Nations headquarters in CW 10 meters also a lot of nice activity in 10 meters, but in all also other bands like I could work the expedition in Benin in Africa from the Russian the expedition team that was in 40 meters.
Okay, Hilton, you were in and out quite a bit. We had very little of the Benin D expedition. Benin edition. Apparently, we're coming in and out. Others are experiencing the same problem here. Your signal's dropping in and out. So you might want to look at that. I'm going to turn it over to Andy for the time being, and after you've looked your equipment over, Hilton, AA,
Oh, good morning, everybody on the net. It's been a long time since I've been on a lot of family activities. Summertime, which kept me away from the radio on Saturdays. Most recently, I was in Los Angeles. Saturday was in the air. 2 of those 3 Saturdays, that trip took me away. So the other one, I believe I had to take my 5-year-old granddaughter to swimming class of all things. Otherwise, is on the way back from the strip. I managed to pick up COVID from somebody, so been out of commission since Wednesday and mostly just at home. Since Wednesday evening is when it started. Tested for positive and gave I am getting better, so not too much to add. I haven't been able to listen to that for a long time. And yeah, I had trouble hearing Hilton as well. I would say if you're on DMR, make sure you don't talk for more than 2 minutes before you bring back into it again. So back to you, Jay, from WJAP.
totally understand and the description there. I hope you're recovering quickly. You said you're starting to feel better, so that's good. Sorry that that's happened. I suppose that intervened before you were able to get the updated booster. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's correct. I was scheduled to do that when I got back, and they're telling me I should wait a couple of months. So I probably will go ahead and get the flu shot. So, yeah, just wasn't quite quick enough. Yeah, and I was out here a full 2 weeks, so it wasn't. Yeah, it wasn't it was available, but not readily so when I left. It is readily available now. So that's it from WJP.
I'm reading your note now, Hilton, and I see that you're having internet issues. The issue's not actually a radio issue. Totally understand. My daughter was about a month ago in my office here. Right now on the laptop, I have Starlink and I have a mesh network, and everything's fine. But I usually use my computer running it off the switch, off direct wired connection. But my daughter was here working, and it turned out that someone in the family had moved the mesh router to node to an inaccessible area. She wasn't getting much signal. I have it set up so it passes through the window. And someone moved it out of the window. And very inaccessible. I can totally relate to that, Hilton. I hope you get the internet issues worked out. K3FCT, Steve. Good morning to you. AA4FL. Go ahead.
This is K3FZT. Outdoors and a lovely day with my cobwebby Magic of a DMR HT, my Anytone 878, and a hotspot indoors, right? Usual DV Megacast. I worked the PHUSO last weekend, and while theoretically I could have joined the Met, I was
Okay, Steve, so coming through the hotspot, but we lost you there for a minute. Are you aware of that? Go ahead, K3FCT, AA4FL.
no. I'm outside building my cobweb antenna kit, and missed the net last weekend in favor of the Pennsylvania QSO party, which started at noon. Beyond that, I don't have much to offer, so I wish everybody 73, and I will listen out. This is Steve in Northwest.
QSM, wishing you the best of success with your antenna project, and may you radiate effectively. We were talking about 6 meters earlier on FD8, and Hilton was talking about all the DX he was working on 10 meters. So if you're capable of operating both bands and all the other bands you're getting ready to enjoy, I would assume on the high bands on HF, enjoy it thoroughly, and we look forward to you joining us on the airwaves there. And glad you're going to stay by and monitor. Are there any other stations that would like to open it up for check-ins? Make your call to Net Control, AA4FL. Well, we are having a very quiet day, and there's nothing wrong with having quality over quantity. Be a little more efficient next week and not have those same issues, but those things do happen. Here in Gainesville today, I wish Chip was here, but N5RTF has not checked in today, and he's really more of an Ole Miss fan, but does live in New Orleans, and we got LSU. I think the game's at 7. No, if we'll be drinking all day, but it's still a 7 o'clock game. Since it's still warm, it'll be a lot cooler at that time. So KF0 HOD, what football cheer on, pro and college, or are there other sports you're interested in, or just amateur radio? Go ahead.
And KF0HOD here in the group. Not the only thing that I really follow regularly that I really enjoy is NCAA football. And being an alum from the University of Wyoming, I will always follow them when I can. That I can get them on TV, unless I can find a special feed. But over the many years I've been away, they've upgraded the War Memorial Stadiums 7,222 feet above sea level, the highest elevation NCAA stadium in North America, and just thought I'd throw that out there. So I do follow the Wyoming Cowboys when I'm on TV and check something on the internet. Otherwise, I do like to follow the military academy football teams. On my favorites up there are tossed up between the Air Force Academy and West Point, having served in both branches. So I do have to stick with the Fighting Falcons of the Air Force Academy. So that's my claim. I will watch the postseason baseball just because it's a circus, and the same thing with the Super Bowl. It's just more of a thing. But up until the time that the teams get there, it's a toss up. Back to you, Net Control. This is KF0 HOD. Negative. Just
work has been has kept me busy for so long, and then retirement has limited my travel. So it's all telecommuting, if you wish. Which someday I'll be able to make it back there and stomp around a little bit. Maybe get my child out there to visit where mom and dad went. But that's about the gist of it, or. Yeah, QSL, AA4FL. There's a lot of benefits for having a 7200 stadium. I don't like going to football games at University of Florida. I went to one, and my grandson, we were good for half, one this year. It's just too many people enjoy going to sports, being in a college town, is the women's sports or some of the smaller sports. Because you can go to a Lady Gator basketball game and be 3 or 4 thousand, and some of the better teams in the country come to play them from the SEC. But also the gymnastics has been. Last year I went to 5 meets. That was the total. I have season tickets this year, and I alternate with the grandchildren and children take meets. Those are special, and of course they were second in the nation last year. So the competition that came to town was excellent. So you're seeing kind of Olympic quality performances, which made it fun. But the best thing of both is just being able to pull right up and go in and not have to deal with the crowds and seeing sportsmanship in a non-professional level. It's true competitiveness, competition for the enjoyment of the sport. Let's drop one. This is AA4FL. Andy, WJ8B, I know Ohio State's been still on top of their game. Who are they playing this weekend, over?
Yes, WJP. Yeah, this is their bye week, so they're not playing this weekend. If I watched football today, it would actually be coming up real soon. That would be at noon, and that would be Penn State versus Michigan, uh, which I may or may not. I may just watch part of it, may watch half of it. As far as the other sports go, I will watch some, and and occasionally the Browns. Um, but I'm not a real big pro football thing. But I have now that I'm in retirement, I have a little more time and do watch it more frequently. And I will watch the Cleveland baseball team. The Indians, now it's called the Guardians. Cincinnati's my main baseball team. That's the one I grew up with, etc. But now we live in Columbus, which is halfway in between the two. When Cincinnati's playing or losing a lot, which they've been doing a lot of lately, you get to watch them some. So back to you from WJP.
QSL, Andy. I guess you also have the University of Cincinnati connection. But the Guardians, I guess, won last night. They tied up that series with the Yankees. Boy, it's been turvy with baseball now, being that the Phillies are up on the Braves, and in the other series you also have the Dodgers now behind the Padres. So it makes it interesting. Hate to see the ones with the biggest payrolls always win. So it's a game of momentum. The Phillies coming on so late and doing so well, and sure some of these other teams, the ones that had the momentum early, like the Mets, are sitting on the sidelines now. So we'll have to see if that happens to the Yankees. Is there anybody else that would like to comment on sports or anything else? I'll make a list. Go ahead and make your calls from that control. AA4FL. Okay, Hilton, it was another key up and key down. We saw you try, but